Hi everyone, so I'm back again today with another chatty video. As you can probably guess from the title, today's video is a Q&A video. It was so highly requested and I'm just going to launch right into it. No intro really needed here. I've listed out lots of your questions down below here in front of me and yeah, I'm just going to get into it. So the first question is, how do you pronounce your name? And that was probably the most commonly asked question. My name is pronounced Eimear, so that's my first name, so Eimear, and my surname, which nobody can pronounce, is McElheron, so McElheron. A lot of people pronounce it McElheron or McElheron, which I can kind of understand because of how it's spelt, but it's McElheron, like run. The second question is, how old are you? I'm 25. My birthday is on the 12th of December and I love it so much. It's in the winter time, the Christmas tree's up for my birthday, the lights are out, the atmosphere is just really nice and it's not too close to Christmas. It's just perfect. So the next question is, whereabouts in Ireland are you from? So I'm from County Wicklow, the Garden County of Ireland, and it's gorgeous. I've actually done a travel vlog on the county, and if you haven't seen it, I'll link it below. Basically, I'm just in the process of filming a travel vlog in every county in Ireland to kind of showcase what the country has to offer. And so far, and I don't think any county will beat it, and I guess I'm kind of biased, but yeah, Wicklow's my favourite. So next is, what first sparked your interest in makeup? Well, I was always quite arty growing up. My granddad was an artist. I especially loved working with pastels in school. You know, pastels on sugar paper. You could kind of really get in there and blend them out. I suppose kind of similar to how you would with eyeshadow. I mean, I guess makeup is an art form as well. And then my mum was kind of into makeup too, and I used to always go into her little makeup bag, and I'd, rob a few bits of her makeup and just have a little play around. Some I liked so much they were never returned. But I guess she that year then put in a word with the man in the North Pole, Mr. Santa Claus, because I got makeup for Christmas that year. I didn't really have a Christmas stocking. It was like a little Santa sack, and one of the presents in the sack that year was a Smashbox kit. And I don't know if you remember them, but Smashbox used to do this little box, and inside you got enough makeup to create a couple of different looks. They give you like a little lookbook, so you might have got inside like a brush or two, an eyeshadow trio or quad, an eyeliner, a bronzer, a blusher, that kind of thing. So I was able to experiment then, and yeah, that was kind of my earliest memory. And I feel so bad now because I didn't realise at the time, like I don't know how old I was, maybe 15 or so, but I didn't realise at the time how big of a deal Smashbox was, like how dear it was. And I was raiding my mom's makeup bag and smearing primer all over my face, not knowing what it was. I was using it by the bucket load, like, sorry mom. The next question is another one that I'm asked like all the time. It's, what did you study in college? Or like, did you go to college? If so, what did you study? That type of thing. I started out by studying business management in DIT, Dublin Institute of Technology. And while I was in the process of completing that course, I also started a makeup course. And I was doing two colleges at the one time, and it was an absolute nightmare. I was just so burnt out, but I wanted to at the time freelance and also potentially get a job on a makeup counter, and a qualification could only help your chances. It could only benefit you, so that's why I did it. I'd consider myself self-taught anyway. The course that I'd done was only an introduction to makeup. It was really, really basic. And I actually I didn't like it afterwards, but anyway, so I got my qualification in business management, I got my qualification in makeup artistry, and then that was in 2012, and that September I was due to start a Bachelor of Business Studies course in DIT as well. along with another makeup course. This time it was a kind of like a theatrical makeup course. But in the August of 2012, my mum passed away really suddenly, and I then didn't think that I'd really be able to cope with one college, let alone two. So a couple of weeks afterwards, I went back to DIT and I completed my my business studies course. So like a few years, many tears, and a lot of sleepless nights later, I got my business degree. So in short, business management, business studies, and makeup artistry. So the next question is, have you tried any eyeshadows from Inglot? And oh, I have indeed. Inglot was, and it still is, one of my favourite brands. I know, like, for my birthday and Christmas and things like that, a lot of the time friends and family would give me vouchers for Inglot because then I could pick out my own makeup. But I've just picked out some palettes here to show you. Back in the day, I would have bought you know, the Inglot, what you call it, it's the Freedom system. So I'd buy the palette and then stick my eyeshadows in it. Nowadays I just buy the singles and I put them in my own magnetic palette. But yeah, I love Inglot shadows so much. The quality is fantastic, but I've so many eyeshadows in my collection nowadays that, you know, I kind of forget what I have. But I'll definitely make more of an effort to use the Inglot shadows because they really are something else. They're gorgeous. And I'm actually going to Poland as well with my friend Laura at Christmas time, and like Inglot, I can't wait. So the next question I have here, it's one that I thought was quite interesting. It's, what is the one makeup product you can't live without? So if you had asked me this question a few years ago, I would have immediately said eyeshadow. I was never one to really be subtle with my eyeshadow. I love colour, I love drama, and I'd have no problem wearing, like, you know, those types of looks on a daily basis. Despite having acne and despite being really self-conscious when it comes to, like, when it came to my skin, I felt that eyeshadow kind of took away from it. So, you know, I wouldn't, if my eyes were done up, I wouldn't care what my skin looked like. Now though, I have to say my eyebrows, like an eyebrow pencil product, whatever. I don't leave the house without my eyebrows on. I just kind of feel now I look strange without my eyebrows, and I think it's just because I've been filling them in for so long. And if I were to do my eyeshadow and not my eyebrows, it kind of looks like something's missing. Like, it doesn't look, I don't look finished or whatever. So yeah, eyebrows, a brow product, definitely. Two of my favourites at the minute are the Penny's brow pencil in the shade Espresso. It's a really good match for my brows, and my beloved Wet n Wild brow kit in the shade Ash Brown. Both affordable and both brilliant. I was in the middle of answering the next question when I obviously didn't realise that one of the eyeshadow palettes that I had in my hand, the black eyeshadow within that palette, was broken. I opened it up. It went all over my creamy beige carpet. So if anybody has any tips on how to get black eyeshadow out of a really light colour carpet, please let me know. Feeling a bit nauseous. Anyway, the question was, what eyeshadow palette do you recommend if you're low on a budget? I got lots of questions about, you know, the best drugstore eyeshadow palettes. I'll have a full video on that soon, showing you my top 5. For the minute, and despite the catastrophe that just unfolded, I'd still, hands down, say the Sleek makeup ones. I've got so many of their eyeshadow palettes. Some I've actually repurchased a couple of times, actually. If you want a really high quality eyeshadow palette that's, you know, really, really affordable, go for the Sleek ones. They come in a, you know, range of colours. You've got ones that are neutral, ones, oh, if I could open and show you. Yeah, so ones that are neutral, ones that are really, really colourful, like this one here. That's the Acid eyeshadow palette, and I've done a tutorial with that. There's actually another really colourful one. Ooh. Their colourful eyeshadow palettes are actually fantastic. It can be very hard to find like really affordable neon shades, and these are fantastic, and they blend so easily as well. They do have neutral palettes. This is another one of my favourites. That's the Volume 2 Ultra Mattes palette. The one before that was the Volume 1, and the one before that was the Acid palette. Some palettes are entirely matte while others are shimmery, but yeah, they're fantastic. Only around a tenner, give or take a couple of euro, and yeah, brilliant. The last questions I think I'm going to answer, because I'm a bit conscious of this video been really long. I can always do another Q&A. But the question is, do I stick to use by dates on products? Now, this is probably a bit controversial, but no. I mean, mascaras, let's say, have a shelf life of maybe 3 to 4 months. And I'll have used up my mascara within that time anyway. And you're kind of going to know yourself if your mascara isn't, if it's kind of past its use by date. It's not going to be performing as well. It'll be clumpy or dry. The only mascara that I invest in is the Lancome Hypnose mascara, and I never ever have a problem with that. And the cheaper ones, let's say if one did go kind of a bit funny before the 3 to 4 months or before I finish it up, it's a cheap mascara, so it'll be cheap enough to repurchase, so it's not that big of a deal. Concealers and foundations, maybe shelf life of 12 months or so. Now, this is all off the top of my head. Don't take it as gospel. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so once again, I'll have used up the product within that amount of time. And let's say if I've got some that are sitting in a drawer, I'll know if it's not right, if it's kind of gone off because of its consistency, or if it's got a bit of a smell. Well then, it's time to toss. And eyeshadows, I think they could have a shelf life apparently of maybe 2 years, and over my dead body would I be tossing out my eyeshadow collection after 2 years. I don't go out all the time, and I don't smoke, and I'm not into clothes. I spend my money on makeup. I love makeup. I love to collect it. And yeah, I dread to think how much my makeup collection's worth, because I love makeup so much. But yeah, so I wouldn't be tossing out my eyeshadows. And kind of at the end of the day as well, I don't use it on anybody else. I sanitize my makeup, but it's not used on anybody else. I don't freelance anymore, so if my eyesight goes pear-shaped or my skin starts to peel off one day, well, I've only got myself to blame. So it wasn't a short answer, but no, I don't really follow it. I think just judge it yourself. You're gonna know if your products are kind of gone a bit iffy. But yeah, so that concludes this Q&A video. I hope you got to know a thing or two about me that you didn't already know or whatever. And yeah, I'll chat to you all soon.